What's up everybody, welcome to Freedive Passion. I'm coming to you from my place here in La Ventana. Right now it's the winter, so it's low season. We only operate during the summer from May until November. And in the winter this becomes a kite surfing town, so I'm taking this opportunity in the morning when there's no wind to make a video. Otherwise, all you would hear is wind right now. So this video is going to be discussing the difference between air shift and equalization, because I see like a lot of confusion out there regarding this. So equalization is how we put air into our middle ear, right? And there's a few different methods for how we do this. I'm not going to talk about Valsalva because it's not really relevant to freediving, but with Frenzel, generally we contract like this area, the back of the throat. We're contracting air. That air has nowhere to go because we've sealed off the glottis, so that air can't go this way to the lungs. It can't go out the nose because we've sealed off the nose as well. So it has to go to the middle ear. This is how we equalize the ears. With Frenzel, you use this part of the throat. With mouthfill, we can use either the throat or a movement of the jaw or a flex of the cheeks in order to make that pressure. But essentially, we're just pressurizing air and pushing that air into the middle ear. Now, air shift is probably the least understood part of equalization. And typically, anyone who can equalize for the first few meters and then can't anymore, and also people who are struggling with deeper equalization, it's quite generally an air shift issue, not an equalization issue. So, we all know, like, as you go deeper, any airspace within our body is going to reduce in volume, right? This is true of our lungs, this is true of the air in our wetsuits, nasal cavity, sinus, all the different airspaces. We already know that we contract air, we pressurize air to equalize our ears. But this air that we're contracting, that's trapped above the glottis, that volume of air is also reducing. Not just because we're putting it into the ears, but also because of the increase in pressure that we're moving through. So at some point, you're going to need to move air from the lungs to above the glottis. So you'll still be able to contract that air, pressurize it, and put it into the ears. Now, there's two methods which work, right? And people generally will combine them both, or they'll use one until things get hard and then they'll try the other. This is like one of the main causes of squeeze that I've seen. But the two methods that really work is what you could call like abdominal contraction, or we literally pressurize the lungs like a Valsalva, and we push the air from the lungs to above the glottis and trap that air by closing off the glottis. The other method that we have is reverse packing. To reverse pack, we expand the throat or the area above the glottis, and this literally sucks air up from the lungs. So one principle of pressure is that air is always going to move from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure. So with N charge, M charge, abdominal contraction, we create pressure in the lungs, more pressure than what we have above the glottis. This pushes the air up from the lungs. We can then trap that air by closing off the glottis and use that air to equalize. With reverse packing, it's the same mechanism, but just done in a slightly different way. We create an expansion here, so we create less pressure here than what we have here. This sucks air up from the lungs, we close the glottis, and then we can use that air to equalize. Now, this is important to understand because trying to move air from the lungs above the glottis is like one of the main causes of injury. And it's one of the main reasons, or like the lack of the ability to do it well, it's one of the main reasons people can't equalize deep or can't equalize shallow. Like people who can equalize well on the surface, who can equalize within the first 10 meters but then struggle. Generally it's an air shift problem, not an equalization problem. So I see that doing Frenzel well. The problem is, once that air that you're using to Frenzel, right, the air we have trapped above the glottis is also going to be compressed as we start to go deeper. So as that air is compressed, your ability to add extra pressure to compress that air further and push the air into the ears gets less and less, to the point where you're no longer able to compress that air. what that feels like to the diver is equalization gets harder and harder, and then you're not able to equalize no matter how hard you push, right? It's not like equalization is literally getting harder or the ears are getting more and more closed. It's just you need more and more effort to squeeze smaller and smaller amounts of air. If you always have enough air, it feels easier to equalize. Even at 100 or 200 or 300 or 1,000 meters, it's gonna feel just as easy to equalize if you have enough air to squeeze in the first place. So a big part of deep diving or diving in general is to have like your sort of protocol for air shift, right? So many of you have heard of M charge, less people have probably heard of N charge, and most people have heard of reverse packing, even if they don't understand either of the three. But these are the three methods that we have to shift air. So I know this can seem like a little bit complicated. I hope I made it a little bit simpler to everybody. Every day here at Freedive Passion, we do like 1 hour of theory and practical when it comes to equalization. So the idea is that people understand on all the different levels, both in their body, but also theoretically, like how to equalize and what equalization is. So we dedicate a lot of time to that because in the end, it's a big part of your dive. And what I really want is for that to be so locked down that people don't need to think about it anymore. And then you can just really like enjoy the dive, which is what it's all about, and go to whole new levels of relaxation. So if you're interested in coming here, then we operate from May until November. If you need help now, I also do distance coaching with regards to equalization. So you can head over to my website and get much more information about all of that stuff. I hope this video helped, and until next time, guys and girls, take it easy and dive safe.